live on YouTube. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the No Cap Space post-game show. Two games today, the rookie showcase of the day. Some rookies showcased. Others, I don't think really any of the rookies have bad games. I think you saw flashes from every rookie today that, like, okay, this is why they're hyped up. But let's get into this first game that just got over. The Sky and the Sparks.
Oh, there we go.
First off, I just want to bat lead off with Kennedy Carter, because that first step is so lethal. It's so lethal. But this is now, what was the stat? Like 5 games,
5 straight with double figures, I believe.
Yeah, and that's not a shock. Like, if you know, you know. Like this, like Kennedy, this is what she does. It was just a matter of kind of having the opportunity to have the freedom to do so. And she's getting that. Like, that is coming into this season when it was like, oh, she's going to play for Spoon. That was kind of everyone's hope, was that she would get the freedom to do so. And we're seeing it, and she's taking that opportunity. She's doing it efficiently. Like, it was 6 for 10 today. Like, this is what you want. That is a heater off the bench. Like, that is a bucket getter off the bench, and that's exactly what she's being asked to do. And there were several different plays that just highlighted the tools that she has, whether it just be her athleticism, the bag, like whatever, the defense, even like just playing through the passing lanes is something that she's been known to do. So like, this is what you want to see. And really the entire Chicago guards, I thought, were really solid today.
Marina got back on track after having a game
foul trouble
night.
Yeah, it was rough, but she definitely did get back on track.
Yeah. I mean, I like their guard rotation a lot. You know, Kaiser even got in at the end. So, and Kaiser absolutely stepped in the pregame.
Yeah, it was a dope fit. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I like their whole complement of guards. I feel like they have, let's say the 3 that truly get a lot of minutes. Like, they all do different things.
Yeah.
They all do different things, and they all can get you a bucket.
Mm-hmm. I mean, really, it's the Aces would be above them. Like, when I'm thinking, like, if it's like bucket getting, like, guard rotations.
The Aces, Seattle Storm, of course.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
But after that, like, it might be time to have some conversation.
It's probably them, like, because like there's solo acts in around the perimeter, like in Rickea, for example, for Dallas. But when it comes to having a full rotation, they're probably top 3. Like that, that's pretty. I'm pretty cool saying that. Like, and they've shown it. Yeah, they've earned that 100% so far. So like, I've been impressed with them.
I know we're talking about the guards, but I mean, shout out to Elizabeth Williams tonight.
Hey, she's having a great start to this season. Like, she has been very, very solid. Like, it is genuinely, like, not that I'm not like surprised by it, but this has been a very, very solid start for E-Will across the board. Like, we know she was like the damn block queen last year, so like there was plenty of highlights for me to sift over. But like, the offense was there, 17 points, 11 rebounds today, 6 of 9. Like, that's what you want your big doing. And she had 4 blocks? Yeah, I didn't realize she had 4 steals and 4 blocks. I didn't even peep the steals, to be honest with you. Like, in the box score,
she stuffed the stat sheet
like,
today.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like, you can't ask anything more than your big doing exactly that. Like, that's just a show for how she started this season, because she's been very, very solid to get everything started. To kind of get into the rookie watch a little bit, Angel didn't have like the craziest game of her career so far by any means. But I mean, outside of the fouls, a lot to like the fouls, and a couple of those were
questionable.
Weird. They were weird. I didn't like them. There were at least 1 or 2 ghost fouls that I wasn't a fan of. But 6 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. And my favorite little action of the entire day was the 2-way play to secure it at the end. We had the clip right here. So let's go through the play first.
For some of these individual performances for the Sky. 2 to shoot. Reese has got to put it up.
Yeah, on Brink, little sky hook.
Yes. And then you get on the other end, and we know what she brings on the other end when it comes to being a defensive player. And that's all WNBA Hamby right there. That ain't no slouch. That ain't no slouch.
Right.
And I love the celebration after. But I want to point something out right here. Watch Kennedy Carter. Because, listen, Angel Reese had the great celebration after the defensive stand, but watch Kennedy Carter here with the celebration after the bucket. Hey, the little shimmy.
I don't know that it was worth the shimmy. Like, good move.
I don't know either. Angel had the celebration here too.
I love it, but I just love like just the again the makeup of this team. Like, whether or not they win and like make a playoff push or anything like that, like everybody just plays hard. Everybody's playing for each other.
Yes.
Like I thought this, from the outside looking in, I thought this could have been a team that a lot of players could have been out for self.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like we got players who are coming back in the league, trying to, secure roster spots, but like Spoon has got them playing incredibly cohesive, right? Angel said, when I go somewhere, everybody comes. Everybody's allowed to come with me. I'm taking everybody. I'm lifting as I'm climbing. And yeah, I thought that Hamby sequence was really interesting because Hamby's when I think about comps for Angel, right? And motor,
sure.
I mean,
especially the trajectory of it, from where Hamby started. I see it. I see the vision. The vision.
So I mean, long term, I think she obviously projects to be better, but in that mold, if you just told me Angel come in and that's the tape that you need to be watching on how you can be effective, she's already doing it. We know that she's already effective. She's already had a double-double and flirted with the double-double many other times this season. So I liked it, and I like the energy because I'm sure Angel knows how well De'Erica's been playing too, right? So and again, De'Erica still had a really good game for the Sparks. She was best player.
Pretty much the lone true highlight for just on the box score. 24 points, 13 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. That's all WNBA numbers right there, which is what we had been kind of projecting for her. Obviously the record's probably gonna hurt the case, but when it comes to all WNBA, I think if she keeps doing this, it's gonna be secure. Because she damn near brought them all the way back in this game. She went on a little run on her own where it was oh, hold on a minute.
Yeah, no, they got it down to 9, 11, that range, single digits. And yeah, again, this is a team, who's without their head coach because Kurt Miller was getting inducted to the MAC Hall of Fame for his coaching career at Bowling Green. So shout out to Kurt, that's super cool. And then also we got to see Nola Henry on the sideline for the first time for the Sparks, where she was on his staff in Connecticut, but this is a Black woman who did not play in the WNBA, mind you. Which I think that's kind of groundbreaking. I don't know that.
I was just trying to rack my brain of I
don't know that we've seen a Black female coach,
active head coach that hasn't played. None come to mind for me. I don't know if at 100%, I don't know 100%, but regardless, it's uncommon if it's.
It's even uncommon for them to be assistants in this league. There's a few out there, but to be in that first tier tonight, that was really cool. And obviously you want to come out with the dub, but shout out to Kurt for giving her the keys.
Yeah, hell yeah. For the rookie watch for the Sparks, Rickea had another efficient double-digit scoring game, 4 of 5, 10 points, 5 rebounds. She had a pretty nice fadeaway, the turnaround jumper. I think it was Mabry guarding her, if I'm not mistaken. That was pretty tough. Brink did Brink things for a lot of the time when it was just on the defensive end, just being impactful. 7 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. That 1 block on Dana was tough.
Nasty,
it was pretty. It was a damn. But definitely just never really kind of got rolling on the offensive end. I know for me, just going forward with Brink specifically, I'm very interested in seeing how she tailors her own game from game to game, because we've seen now with Dallas, she was stepping out way more, and we even saw it. I think it was against the Fever. We saw her take a couple threes too. That's obviously something that she's very comfortable implementing into her game, but just kind of figuring out okay, is that just a day-to-day part of your game? Is that for you're matching up with bigger bigs, because you're going against McCowan, you don't want her you're comfortable with her closeouts, So I'm very interested in just the general strategy, I guess, for Brink going forward, just on a game-to-game basis, just to see is she pivoting what her style is going to be based on the matchup, or is she just kind of growing the bag generally and you're just going to have to figure me out type situation? So I'm very interested in just seeing what that
I'm anxious for the where we know that we'll get at least 10 points out of Cam, just in the paint, not even counting the 3-point. I do think that the Sparks need her to score some points in the paint too. On
Yeah.
a consistent basis. And again, you have the length to finish over tons of defenders in this league. Also, Cam might need a mask because she got knocked up.
Oh my goodness, the face.
Right. Yeah. So come on.
That's the money maker. Come on now. Come on now.
But yeah, I mean, rookies. It's some of them have played 9 games in 16 days or something like that. Sparks have also played a ton of games, right?
Yeah, this was their 6th, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. So the adjustment it's not easy, but you've every one of them has given a flash of like, oh, this is
every game you're getting from the top of the top echelon rookies. Like you're seeing something every game where it's like, I get it. Like I understand why your name is one of the ones being mentioned as the top rookies, even if the whole production isn't completely there throughout the game. Every game you're seeing like the reasoning behind the hype, which is really all like to a point. All you're kind of asking for at times from these rookies. I think some have different like Caitlin's responsibility is different than a Rickea, like in
absolutely
everything. But generally speaking, if you're seeing the progress, if you're seeing the flashes, you're feeling okay with the rookies. I do think today though, just generally with the Sparks, like obviously Laisha out for today, still in concussion protocol. However, it felt like such a highlight of the way that this roster is built.
Construction,
and I know this isn't the first time that we've touched on it, but like seeing the guards for Chicago eat, and you have whether it's like Kia Nurse bringing the ball up, or Lexi Brown, like those aren't point guards to me. Like those aren't people I want running my offense. And even Ari, who had a great game against Indiana, like it looked like it was out of gas at times throughout this game. Frankly,
great person though.
Like, you're a great person though. Really nice. But it just and like Laisha coming back doesn't change any of that for me. Like that doesn't fix any of these issues. And you still have Azare, to still come in, and then that's just another just kind of stretch 4-5, and you have plenty of stretch 3-4-5s on this roster, and it just.
I mean, listen, like we know who at least 2 of the contenders for the Paige Becker sweepstakes are, and it's the LA Sparks and the Washington Mystics. Yeah. We're gonna see who's gonna be joining them. I guess the Golden State Valkyries, you can throw them in there as well.
I mean, the Fever as of now.
Yeah, and but would they? Right, that's a duplicitous kind of pick. So
yeah, true.
It just wouldn't be the smartest thing to do. But again, talent is talent.
Yeah.
But I would, those 3 for sure are firmly planted in the sweepstakes. So, and New York, LA very clearly needs a starting point guard.
Desperately.
Have 2 other foundational pieces.
Paige with them.
Yeah.
Hey man, that's one where it's like how Caitlin was with the Fever. It was like, yeah, this one makes sense. Come on now, like that would be tough. That would be very tough. But yeah, like obviously, like this was never meant to be the championship roster or anything, but the deficiencies in just the makeup of the roster are just so apparent, especially on days like today when you're going against a guard rotation like Chicago, and you just can't stop the bleeding no matter who has the ball at any point. And it never, even when it felt like the only time they were really very productive on offense was just Hamby doing her thing. It was never like a functionality of the offense. It was getting a rebound and putting it back, or just posting up, whatever that kind of looked like. It was never a functionality of, oh, this was a really nice set that they ran by this guard. Right, like it was never that. So that's just kind of the reality, I think, frankly, for this Sparks roster. That
you got somebody calling for Steph Talbot minutes. I know that's right.
Oh man, we're in hell. Like it's, so it's now like. I mean, like you said, you know what you're getting. You know what you're getting.
Come on.
Yeah, it is. Tank Commander Brink. Yeah. Get her in the camo. But yeah, so I wasn't surprised by anything in this game. Hamby played all WNBA level. Angel showed the flashes. The guards for Chicago ate. Like, E-Will was solid once again. No real new revelation for me from this game as opposed to anything that we had seen prior.
You mean Revelation?
Revelation.
Hey, that's a book in the Bible.
Yeah. Sorry. But yeah, any other thoughts on that one? Like that wraps it up for me. It was pretty open and closed game for me, frankly. Like it was.
Yeah, same. I think the Sparks that was their first like official road trip where they had like multiple games on the road. So I think they're headed back to crypto now, and Kurt will be rejoining them, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, let's get into our second game then. The Storm versus the Fever, and let's just start with the highlight of the day here. Let's get into it. CC is about it. Caitlin Clark and Victoria Vivians. This isn't in the clip, but Caitlin had just hit a 30-plus footer with Vivians guarding her. Double technical foul issued here. Caitlin's hyping up the crowd afterwards. Like, this is just, I love it.
This is what we play for.
I love it. This is the Joakim Noah clapping when they're arguing.
And then laughing like a complete psychopath.
Yes.
This is what we. If you're
I'm so with it.
Yeah, come on.
I'm so with it. I love Aaliyah Boston here. Aaliyah Boston was like, she had just seen like a crime, like she was like, "Oh my God, please stop!" Like it was. So that was funny to me. But I mean, just I love that. Nothing has taken that, like the talking to the refs and the technicals, like obviously, like there's been a lot early on for Caitlin, and that is obviously not something that you want to encourage. However, I love that the W hasn't taken away her edge in the slightest or anything. Like there was, you hear so much about the transition and going from college to the W, and I think we've seen in the past where rookies have come in and just kind of lose that feeling like, hey, I belong here. Like I do this. Caitlin hasn't lost that. Like, and really none of this rookie class has. But like talking about Caitlin specifically here, like,
yeah,
I love it.
1-9, so like,
exactly.
You could 1-8, right?
Yeah,
you would understand if she had lost it already.
Yeah.
Again, there's been, she's only played 9 games, but we've seen our fair share of like body language cams on Caitlin.
Oh yeah,
and stuff like that. So it is good to see. Like, I still know I'm one of them ones, and like,
yeah.
I will bust the ass of the player that this team that I'm playing for kind of got rid of to make room for me.
Yeah.
Because I saw something today that said like, oh, the Indiana Fever are actually still paying Victoria Vivians.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like, yeah, I mean, and it was just like, I don't think Caitlin would have said or done anything unprovoked. Like, obviously we couldn't see what Vivian said.
Yeah, we don't know what, like they talked the entire way up the court, but we don't know.
Right.
Like even seeing like the full thing, you couldn't really tell, at least from what I saw, like who started what or who said it. So I have no idea really anything outside of that clip. The fact that they just bumped chest afterwards,
and then after that, I mean, Caitlin she was on the floor a lot tonight again. She hit the deck a lot tonight, but I think she shot 6 for 17, hit 3 of 8 from 3.
Yep, 6-17, 3 of 8 for 20 points. 9
assists. They put up 88. So like offense is fine.
Yes,
offense is fine. Nalissa, we're gonna touch on her.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
this was her best game of the season.
Kind of go through it all now, right?
Yeah.
Timmy Fagbenle is out for 2 to 3 weeks with a foot.
Yeah, at minimum, that's reevaluated 2 to 3 weeks. So this could be even longer term. Yeah.
Although Chrissy Sides had made a change to the starting lineup that a lot of people were calling for, and it was one of their better lineups, they're already back to the lineup they started the season with Nalissa Smith starting. But she played really well today.
Yes.
Super efficient. 21 and
23 points, 8 for 14, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, steal, 2 blocks. Like, I mean, there's no. That's what you like. That version of Nalissa Smith completely changes the complexion.
Running the rim.
That is what I was going to touch on, because it felt like today her off-ball movement for like when Caitlin had the ball, or especially like when they would blitz Caitlin off the screen and then Nalissa would be the one running free or whoever. Like, it felt like Nalissa was just like the clearest rim runner throughout the entire time, which we have been asking for with this Fever team, to make use of the passing that Caitlin has. So that was the biggest improvement I saw from her today. I don't know the exact. It felt like if you told me she got half her points just off rim runs, I'd completely believe you.
But again, when we look at the Fever roster, they're not lacking offense. That's not the problem, right?
No, not at all.
You got Caitlin, you got Katie Lou, who's supposed to be a knockdown shooter, but like offense is that's her strength.
Everyone, they have a lot of players that are just
her strength, right?
Players.
Like that's her strength. We saw Grace Berger get off the bench today, which
I liked. I like the minutes. I like the minutes.
It's about their defense, right? Seattle has won 4 straight. They gave up 100 plus points to Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Skylar and Jewel and Nneka, yes, they're very much becoming the team that a lot of us thought they could be when they made those acquisitions this offseason. But for the Fever, it's got to be about what is your defensive identity, offense, like to a degree, you guys have got that figured out. And you also just have a generational player helmet your offense. So, like, I'm not too concerned. But what you at some point you're going to have to hang your hat on defense, and they just have not figured out that side of the ball yet. And again, they played 9 games in 16 days or something like that. They're about to have a bunch of days off here really soon. So with that will come like practice time. And
I would love to know how many practices they've actually even had at this point.
They're going to be working on their defensive principles. So that's going to be something to monitor over the next couple of weeks, right? Yeah. It's just like, how much better can their defense get? Because again, we've seen it already in these first 2.5 weeks. Like, Caitlin is a more than capable defender in this league.
Yeah.
We know Aaliyah Boston can anchor a defense. Nalissa, how are you going to commit to the defensive end? And then all the other pieces that they've got, how are you guys going to commit to the defensive end? But again, a team that, in the grand scheme is not supposed to be.
We know the expectation for this Fever team, like a realistic expectation. There were some crazy ones going into the season, but anyone with realism knew the they had the number 1 pick for a reason in back-to-back years for a reason. Like, this is not a good team. Like, it's just not. But to your point about Seattle, 4 games in a row, and it's the similar formula again. It's your core 4 getting buckets and putting up the points, and then everyone else is kind of filling in the blanks. I liked some of the Horston minutes today that you saw. So even some of the Vivian's minutes, like, you're not asking any of these other players to do anything remarkable, just fill in the blanks. And frankly, like, the core 4 they have is a pretty balanced 4, like in the sense
I'm saying outside of the aces, you gotta
I'm with you.
Look at Seattle and say
I'm with you 100%. Because like I'm trying to think of what do these others need to do? And there's not really it feels more game to game, to be honest, which is a good thing, I feel like, for Seattle. You don't just have like this obvious weakness that you got to point to and be like, hey, Jordan Horston, do this. It's really a game to game type thing, which is to already be at this point 8 games of this season, because we've seen, frankly, like, we saw the Liberty last year. You piece together a team in free agency, and to this day, we still feel like we're seeing like odd struggles when it comes to just to like making it gel. And you haven't, like, the fact that they're 8 games in and it already looks like smooth, and like that you have like a concrete identity for what this team is going to be this entirety of the season. That's massive. That's major. And when you have all four of your core 4, 15 plus points, like Ezzy, again, just a defensive menace, 4 blocks, 3 steals with 15 points, 8 rebounds. Like, I had the Storm in the finals. I believed in this core going into. I had the Aces Storm going into this season, and it is. I mean, obviously, I think the Sun looked better than maybe people had anticipated, but like, it wouldn't surprise me like at all if Seattle was one of the last teams remaining in this with the way that they're looking right now. Like, it's because I feel like it's only gonna get better too. And this is still, even though as complimentary as you can be, you're still only 8 games in. So it's only presumably gonna just be oiled out more and more and more to this machine. So I've been super impressed.
Yeah, same. I think Noel, I think if you they're like the game break thing that they showed during League Pass, when you're watching on League Pass, right? They want to be dangerously disciplined. And again, I struggle to think of players like individually in a Jewel and a Skylar and a Nneka who like they just embody that at all points of their career to me. So like and then to have them like shepherding along the other pieces and younger players on this team, like their front office did their thing this offseason for real.
Yeah, I do want to point out this clip here because after in the post game, Caitlin had talked about and this is now several times that she's mentioned the whistle that she's getting or the lack thereof, I guess more so. Just
how many did you shoot tonight?
She had 5. And she said, and like I said, I think after the last game, she said something very similar. I feel like I'm getting hammered. I appreciate Christy getting a tech. I don't know. It was just a screenshot from Dominic Miranda, Don Miranda TV on Twitter. Like, I don't disagree. You know, like she's getting roughed up out there. You know, and so I understand the frustration. Like, and I don't recall her ever. Like, obviously, she talks to the refs in the games, right? But throughout her college career, at least to my recollection, I don't remember her ever being like, yeah, this whistle, like, is rough. I at least to anything that I remember in a post-game press conference in that way. Obviously, she's talked to the refs in the game, but I don't personally.
Yeah, but also I think she would have looked crazy doing that in college because, like, to Diana's point, like, you're playing against 18-year-olds. You know what I mean? Like,
true.
So, like, but in at this stage. Well, first of all, like, we want to see her in games.
Mm-hmm.
She played 40 minutes tonight, sat for all of 4 seconds. So, like, not great. Just from a minutes, like,
especially when like this game was over.
It wasn't close.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah. It got out of hand like pretty early in the second half. So interesting, like, decision to keep her in and not give her a breather really at all in this game. But like just in general, right? We want to see Caitlin playing. They're gonna they had 36 nationally televised games this year. I don't want to see her out of games because she's getting beat up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want that to be the reason. Right? And then like the fatigue because the coach isn't managing your minutes properly. You know, so it probably needs to be like an all hands on deck situation, just in terms of like monitoring that kind of stuff because I don't even know how that happens. You guys are getting your doors blown off. You're down 20. Why is she still in the game? You know, it's
like the opposite of what we were saying with LA about like how like, oh, are they maybe holding these minutes back from Brink and Rickea because of, you know, they just went through the entire college season and everything, you know, and they've
been at home for a minute.
I was about to say, Caitlin went all the way. Right. Like Caitlin went to the very last day of the season, so even more so than a Brink or
has played more games than anyone so far to start.
100%. So, I'm with you. Like this isn't the winning season. Like don't like
you're not trying to hit a grand slam right now.
Yeah. We're just trying to, you don't want them tires smooth as hell at the end of year one. Like let's calm it down. Let's calm it down. So like that, but I completely agree with you that is absolutely something to monitor because that's ridiculous. There's no reason in this game. Like, I
mean, I saw like, you know, other positives you could take from tonight. Like it seemed like Katie Lou finally got going.
Right? In the second half, that first half, because the offense in the first, like it was a close game in the first half. Like at halftime, it was only like a couple point game if I'm not mistaken. So like, it's not like this was just a blowout, you know, for all 40 by any means. This was a complete second half loss for the Fever. Frankly, they just kind of ran out of gas a lot because I thought they had like a lot of good looks throughout the game, and Katie Lou started hitting more so in the second half, even though the team went down in the second half. Because in the first half, she had a couple misses that were just wide open. That they were getting a lot of driving kicks that looked good and everything. And now it's like I said, I don't really know what the answer is when it comes to just turning it around right now because it's the offense, like you said, like they have a pretty like. You scored 88 tonight.
88. I was like,
you got a formula. Like something's working here, but the defensive side of the ball, like I don't know. Like
again, you have two vets in your backcourt. One of whom didn't play today, but you know Kelsey and Erica, who first of all are just like undersized. First of all, but also just that's never been their calling card in this league. So it's not something that we can address, you know, on May 30th, but. It's something that I think Lynn Dunn and the rest of the front office are certainly going to have to address, you know, in the off season and things like that. You can't expect to outscore everyone in this league.
No, especially with the way the offensive talent is spread out now. Like it was like because there's a lot more where this came from. Like this isn't just the only team that could score over 100. You know,
Right.
I actually went look. There's already been like 4 or 5 100-point games this season. I know Dallas had the highest with 107 in that Rickea 40-point game.
Mm-hmm.
But like there's more where this came from. So like if you ain't figuring the defense out now, like I mean, which I don't see the immediate solution to do that. Like so this. It feels like the only way that the Fever are really going to win games this season is by outscoring teams. And I worry about the burnout for Caitlin by trying to do that. And I also just don't think that's going to happen very frequently if that is just your only means of winning. The best teams know how to win in multiple ways. The Fever have won, and they've won once. And it was against the Sparks. So like another team down there with them. So yeah, I don't think there is an answer right now. I definitely don't have it if there is. But I mean, this is kind of be it. I feel like for the Fever, like obviously there's plenty of positives to take away from this game with Melissa. Like I said, if that's the Melissa you're getting for this 2 to 3 weeks, I don't know if that starting spot's going away. I wouldn't if you're doing this. Aaliyah ended up getting the double in the end. I'm interested in seeing how she continues to try and mesh into this new Caitlin-led team, just kind of across the board, to be honest. Just figuring out whether it's just the shot attempts straight up, just figuring out how to be more involved in that way.
Yeah, there were two-man game times tonight where it's like she never touched the ball.
Yeah.
Which you also don't want to have happening. I mean, they really just got to look in the mirror and say, like, this is the way we're playing, on both sides of the ball, right? Mm-hmm. And these are our priorities and like keys to the game, right?
Yeah.
And it just so far, just in general, 1 of 8, 1 win out of 9 attempts. It just, I don't know. I don't know what's on that board pregame from day to day.
Yeah, I'm with it. Like I don't know what the goal is.
Selfishness. So we got a message in the chat that said stop being selfish, and I think you're alluding to the Fever in general. But selfishness has existed on this team way before Caitlin got here either.
Yeah. We had all these conversations last year.
Like,
I also think to a point, AB needs to be more selfish. And go. You're Aaliyah Boston,
right?
Like you're the number 1 pick. You're
Aaliyah Boston. It's time for you to drop your nuts, sister.
It's time
for you to drop your nuts. Because that's why you got AT, JJ, think that they can come at you any kind of way. You're taking Caitlin away. Caitlin's like, I'm good. I can handle my own, right? Yeah. Defend yourself with the same amount of, what I mean?
That's where I'm at with it at this current moment right now. Where I'm at with it is I don't know about the functionality of this team at this point. I don't trust what I'm seeing to be the future of this team, but on an individual basis, I just want to see Aaliyah Boston go be dominant like that. And I want to see the flashes of dominant. We heard all the jokes about Kobe and Shaq going into the season. Like I need to see the dominance, that a Shaq would display, and that's what I'm looking for.
That's
what I'm like, just like, obviously we didn't, Aaliyah's an angel.
Keep it basketball, keep it on the court, of course, but let these people know not to fuck with you.
Yeah.
Like,
100%.
they testing you like crazy right now.
Yeah. That's where I'm at with it currently. Like I do think more touches are necessary, but also what is the mindset for Aaliyah when the ball is in her hands? That's also what I want to see shift a little bit. So it's Boston's fault for not being selfish. I'm not saying it's her fault. I'm just saying I would personally, I know the skill is there, the talent is there. So like you see,
call your own number.
Like think of like
demand the ball.
No one is Asia Wilson in this league, right? But when Asia Wilson gets the ball at the elbow, she's going to work,
right?
And like in one way or another, and just like that's you can almost tell when you're watching Asia, like when the switch flips, it's like I'm gonna go get mine. I just want to see a little bit more of that, just like from like that's.
To see Aaliyah Boston playing more confidently,
across
the board, would do wonders for this team.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Like it's a matter of definitely
everyone else's confidence is kind of where it should be or where we know it to be.
Yeah,
you know?
right. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
her that right now she kind of looks like a shell of herself.
Yeah.
And the shell of a player we know she can be.
Yeah. And more touches helps that confidence. So like that is absolutely 100% part of this equation is that like you got to get to the ball to build that confidence up. So that's 100% part of it. I just do want to see that build, and that's not be something that you just switch game from one game to another, but I just want to see that build, and that includes getting more touches. So that's where I'm at with it. She led the league in efficiency last year. Great player. She can get back here easily. I think so too. That's the Aaliyah ball. Like we saw dominant. Like we saw dominant last year. Put that with Caitlin and there, I think you're winning probably some of these games if you're getting that dominant.
Aaliyah a couple of the losses have been close ones.
Mm-hmm. It's just that extra step up can make all the difference when in some of these games. So like I'm not blaming Aaliyah, but I do want to see that confidence come back, and a lot of that has to do with
and a lot of this is on sides too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when we talk about confidence, I think there's a coach on the sideline who's not exuding confidence either.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm with you.
Or in the pressers, or you know what I mean. So again, like it's a bunch of people with like limited, or the experience that they do have is not what's the word? Is not like super credible. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like they haven't really done much in this league either. So again, like that's roster construction. But what did they say? Rome wasn't built in a day. So they got some time here. Again, I don't think anyone sensible expected them to come out and just
like run the league. Like yeah. I'm with you.
That was 22 years.
Hey, Lynn Dunn. I wasn't alive when she drafted Sue Bird.
That's insane. So, all right. Good night, guys. That's
it
for me. That's it for me. I'm done.
I don't know if I was alive. Oh my goodness.
No, you weren't. You were in.
I think it was. I'm pretty sure. I think I've looked this up before. I think it was like a couple months before I was born. Like when the draft actually happened. I think
pull the plug. Come on, it's time to get out.
It's time. All right, y'all. Well, thank y'all for joining us here for the No Cap Space post game show. I don't think we'll be on tomorrow because the schedule is insane tomorrow. But Saturday.
Have fun trying to watch all three of those games.
Yeah, all three of those games at 7:30 Eastern tomorrow. But Saturday, it's the Fever versus the Sky. With Camila Cardoso presumably making her debut. We will be here.
Caitlin.
We will be here.
Break. She can't get a break.
At all. We're getting Angel versus Caitlin 1 in the WNBA.
Plus a little Camila.
And we get Camila versus Aaliyah for the first time. Come on now. We here for it. So we're gonna be here for that. So we will see. I don't know exactly what time that game is on Saturday, but we will be here immediately after that. Make sure you guys go follow the Twitter so make sure you're notified every time that we go live. If you're on YouTube, subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified whenever we go live. The Substack, I know we have a transfer article, I think, dropping tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, on the Substack. So that's also in the description. Everything's completely free to stay tapped in with the No Cap Space for all the best coverage across the entire world of women's basketball. And we'll see y'all next time.